the SNC-Lavalin scandal, and now we see, based on the Mass Casualty Commission, that the then Public Safety Minister and the Prime Minister put pressure on Commissioner Lucky. Why did the Prime Minister and the Public Safety Minister use the death of Canadians to advance their political agenda?
Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, I want to express on behalf of the government, and I hope all members in this chamber, our sympathies and our condolences to the families of the victims. I had the opportunity.
I'm just going to make a comment. It's shameful I can't hear what's being said. So I just want to remind everyone to really just keep your voices down so we can hear the answer. From the top, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for creating some pause in this chamber as I express, I hope on behalf of all members, our condolences and our sympathies with the families of the victim, some of whom I've had an opportunity to meet with. This continues to be a very difficult moment for them. In the interim, we know that the Public Commission is doing its important work independently of government. There needs to be due process. There needs to be a trauma-informed process this, and at the end of the day, we will do whatever we can to support that process so that there can be justice for the families they deserve it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, member for Cumberland-Colchester.
Mr. Speaker, it's very clear from recent news reports that the Mass Casualty Commission confirms that the Prime Minister and the then Public Safety Minister interfered with, sadly, Mr. Speaker, the release of numbers of casualties. We know that what the quote says is that in reference to victim numbers, that is 100% Minister Blair and the Prime Minister. Isn't that true, Mr. Speaker?
Hear, hear.
I just want to remind the honourable members, when referring to someone else in the chamber, refer to them as their title but not by their name.
Let him defend himself.
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety. The Honourable Minister for Emergency Preparedness.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm very happy to advise this House that this issue has already been dealt and with the Mass Casualty Commission, in which the Commissioner of the RCMP has confirmed for the Commission that no such direction or pressure was ever exerted by me or by any other member of this government. But, Mr. Speaker, among the important work of the Mass Casualty Commission is examining a number of the significant communication challenges that event involved. We look forward.
I'm going to have to stop the Minister. I'm having a hard time, and I'm about 20 feet away from the Minister. So I'm going to ask everyone to be quiet and maybe ask the Minister to take it from the top, because I missed most of that. The Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to advise this House that this matter was dealt with a number of months ago, in which the Commissioner of the RCMP has confirmed for the Mass Casualty Commission that no such direction or pressure was ever exerted by myself or any other member of this government. But, Mr. Speaker, among the most important work of the Mass Casualty Commission is to examine the important communication challenges that were evident during this tragic event. We look forward to fact-based findings and recommendations for improvement.
Well, member for Barrie Innisfil.
Okay, so Mr. Speaker, this is critical, because according to the Commander's notes in the Mass Casualty Commission report, the Commissioner Lucky promised the Prime Minister's office and the Public Safety Minister's office that they would release the information in an active investigation that she was discussing. It would appear that somebody from the Prime Minister's office and the Public Safety Minister's office was directing Commissioner Lucky to interfere in an active police investigation when the investigators on the ground said they didn't want to. Who in the PMO and the Public Safety Minister's office directed Commissioner Lucky?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm very pleased to confirm that no one in the Prime Minister's office or the Public Safety Office exerted any pressure or direction on the Commissioner of the RCMP. The Commissioner of the RCMP engaged with her officials, and she has already confirmed for the Mass Casualty Commission that no such direction or pressure was ever given by any member of this government.
Member for Barrie Innisfil.
Mr. Speaker, that is contradictory evidence according to the Commission's report. According to the commanders on the ground, Commissioner Lucky became extremely upset that the commissioners were not releasing the information in an active investigation, despite the fact that the commanders on the ground said they weren't willing to do it because it would compromise the investigation, Mr. Speaker. So again, I ask, somebody in the Prime Minister's office, somebody in the Public Minister's office directed Commissioner Lucky to get that information. Who was it?
The Honourable Minister for Emergency Preparedness.
Mr. Speaker, the Commissioner of the RCMP is in her operations of her police service is entirely independent of government, and I can confirm for this House, and as the Commissioner has also confirmed, that no such direction or pressure was exerted by any member of this government to influence the Commissioner's exercise of her authorities over her police service.
There can be little doubt that there was political interference from the Prime Minister's office and the Public Safety Minister's office because of the handwritten notes by Darren Campbell, a superintendent panel in superintendent in the RCMP in Nova Scotia. In his notes, he wrote, "The Commissioner said she had promised the Minister of Public Safety and the Prime Minister's office that the RCMP would release this information. Release information in an active investigation that could have jeopardized the investigation." Who in the Prime Minister's office, who in the Public Safety Minister's office authorized Commissioner Lucky to speak to the RCMP?
The Honourable Minister for Emergency Preparedness.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, first of all, the answer is no one. And secondly, perhaps the member opposite isn't aware that the Commissioner of the RCMP is the Commissioner of the RCMP and doesn't require any authorization from anyone else to speak to her own organization. But, Mr. Speaker, what is also clear, and the Commissioner has made very clear to the Mass Casualty Commission, is that no pressure, no direction, no orders were given by any member of this government to her in doing her job of running her organization.
The Honourable Member for Barrie Innisfil.
Funny, Dominic. Unreal.
This is not funny, Mr. Speaker, because in his notes, in particular, the Nova Scotia RCMP superintendent said that Lucky had accused them of disobeying her instructions to include specific information on the firearms used by the perpetrator. In his notes, Campbell also wrote that he told the RCMP Strategic Communications not to release information about the perpetrator's firearms out of concern that it would jeopardize the investigation. The RCMP commissioner said that she had received instructions from the Prime Minister's office and Mr. Blair's Public Safety Office, to interfere.
We brought it up, it's nice, but when it gets brought up again, I understand that drama is good for TV, but it's not good for this chamber. The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it's very apparent that the leader of the House from the opposition is more interested in drama than in truth. Mr. Speaker, there is a fact here. The Commissioner has confirmed that no direction and no pressure was given by me or by any member of this government to direct her in any way. Mr. Speaker, this is a line of which I am most familiar, and no direction of an operational matter was given to the Commissioner of the RCMP by myself or any member of this government, and she's confirmed the truth of that.
Member for Barrie Innisfil.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, but this is not drama. This is about a police commissioner actively...
The Honourable Member for Barrie Innisfil. The question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I do apologize, but this is not drama. This is about a direction to a police commissioner of the RCMP to actively be involved in a case, an ongoing investigation in Nova Scotia, from the Prime Minister's office to the Public Safety Minister's office. That's the accusation that has been made in this case, Mr. Speaker. So it is a serious matter that police are actively investigating something, and they're being told by the Prime Minister's office and the Public Safety Minister's office that the commissioners to interfere. Who told them?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I've said many times already today, and as I'll say again, no one told the RCMP Commissioner and gave her any direction or exerted any pressure. Mr. Speaker, the conversations that the Commissioner has with her subordinates in her organization is entirely independent of government, and the Commissioner is doing her job, but she has already confirmed for the Mass Casualty Commission a public inquiry intended to get to the facts of this matter that no such direction was given by any member of this government.
The Honourable Member.